Hey guys, Martin here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to be checking out a Friend Master Roshi, the new Dokkan Fest that has released on Global today, at 55%, freshly pulled, so level 1 links, no dupes. Basically just to give an example of what this guy will be like if you do decide to summon for him, and then you just get the one copy. I did my summon or skip video. You guys know, unless you didn't see it, I suppose, but I definitely think that this guy is a pretty easy skip. This is the first banner in a long time that I didn't even summon on, right? So we're going to try this guy out at 55%. We are running a team which is largely, well, it's mostly Earthbred fighters, right? Because it's a Yamcha lead. He's one of the other characters that will give a 200% lead to Roshi. Roshi, obviously, of course, getting his own 200% lead. But I wanted to bring a team where we could at least run like a Bulma, because part of Roshi's passive wants a Bulma on the team. And then also we can have the Kid Goku, because obviously he is an Earthbred fighter. He doesn't get a 200% from in Yamcha, but he's kind of on the team just for the Roshi buffs. I think it's for the unit super. And yeah, we're just going to see how we get on and see what Roshi is going to be like. So we can already see here 132k defense start of turn, which is not particularly high, but let's go and have a look at the details for our boy. I do like the art. We got Roshi and the Kid Krillin and Kid Gohan there with the Kamehamehas. So his leader skill is Peppy Gal's 200%, and then Turtle School or DB Saga 170 with an extra 30 to Bond of Master and Disciple or Kamehameha. His super attack, so he has the 2 unit supers. His normal super raises attack and defense for 1 turn and does immense damage, and then both his unit supers do the same thing, which is infinitely stack attack, greatly raise defense for 1 turn and do immense damage with a great chance to stun. One of them is if there's a Goku Youth or Krillin Youth, and the other one is if there is a Bulma. So pretty big difference, right? We get an infinite stack on our attack, but we also greatly raise defense for the turn, where his normal super is just a normal raise for both, and obviously not infinite on the attack. So his passive activates the entrance animation, which we saw, reduces damage received by 30% for 7 turns, attack and defense 150% plus an additional 150%, and launch an additional super when performing a super attack. So he guaranteed gets an extra super, which is pretty good. So you're always going to get those 2 defense raises, as well as the 150% on to stats on super as well. He also gets key 3 and damage reduction of 20% if there are another 2 or more Turtle School allies on the team, which there is. He gets an additional attack and defense 82% per Peppy Gal's ally attacking in the same turn. Then he gets an additional 82% attack and a high chance to crit when there's an ally whose name includes Bulma in the turn. And then he gives Turtle School or Peppy Gal's allies 2 key and attack and defense 50%, self-excluded. So we can see here we don't have any of the allies on the rotation for the extra buffs. We get 150% on super. We're not going to get his unit super. So that means when he super attacks, he is getting, what, like around 200-ish K extra defense on super. Just over. So he'll be going up to around 350. And then, of course, he gets his super attack effect as well. So best case scenario, he's at around 400k defense here, which isn't a crazy amount. But obviously, remember that he does have the damage reduction. We've got the Turtle School allies on the team, so he has 50% damage reduction. And he is guaranteed to get at least 2 super attacks. So that is going to be pushing 450, maybe even up into 500k defense, which isn't insanely high, but then he has 50% damage reduction. Be interesting to see what kind of attacks he gets here. We only have Fierce Battle and Kamehameha active. Not the best rotation for him, for sure. Although, of course, he is getting support from the version Z Goku as well. But yeah, we'll see what kind of damage he's doing here. Roshi, as I said in my summon or skip video, on paper, just looking at his kit and everything, he seems like he could be pretty decent, and his team could be quite good, but with the leader skill that he has, like, some of the best units on his team are going to be some of the better Gokus, and obviously you can run them on a whole variety of other different team builds. Like if you're running a rotation of Tech UI and AGL UI, then at that point it's like you just run the reps of Universe 17, right? Or just a Universe Survival Saga team with Tech UI, rather than run Roshi. He does give the support, which is nice, because obviously Turtle School does include almost every Goku in the game. So 50% attack and defense support is nice. But yeah, it just feels like he certainly is a unit that, whilst he's definitely not, like, I wouldn't say he was bad, You know, definitely wouldn't go as far as to say he's like terrible or anything like that, but he just very much strikes me as a unit that you definitely don't need to have, right? And you know, this team, not exactly going to be the craziest or the most powerful or anything like that, but it's a team where we can at least try them out and see how we get on. I really want Krillin on the rotation with Roshi, but I definitely can't float off. I can't have anyone else in slot 1 on this turn, realistically. So I think we will float off Kid Goku just so we can get him onto the rotation. Unless I float off Roshi next turn, I guess. Even though he is the showcase unit, I might as well float him off, get him onto this rotation. Because then we've got a Kid Goku for the unit super, and we've got the Krillin for the links. Because the Krillin is one of his best link partners. So might as well try and get them together. We'll have a Kid Goku on the rotation so we get the unit super attack. But yeah, he only hit around a 5 million attack stat on the first turn. Again, we have to bear in mind if he is 55% level 1 links. He has a lot of links, things like Kamehameha, which give a lot of extra attack when they're at level 10. So that is something to bear in mind. And then, of course, he has the Dragon Ball links, like the Incredible Adventure and stuff like that, which he wasn't getting any of active on that previous turn, right? We just had the Fierce Battle and Kamehameha links active. So definitely not like the ideal rotation for him. He did have some support from the version Z Goku, but obviously not an optimal turn for him last time. But we'll see what he's looking like on this next rotation here. Yamcha getting off an additional normal. Look at that, massive damage. We're going to have the Bulma on rotation this time, so that's good. Not just for the extra part of his passive, but the extra attack support, well, attack and defense support from her, as long as we pick up the orbs. So we'll put Roshi in slot 3 here. Roshi does have an active skill as well. Can be activated when HP is 70% or less starting from the 3rd turn or starting from the 5th turn. Recovers 50% HP, and for 1 turn, all allies key +3 and attack and defense 30%. So now we are going to get the unit super. We also have a Peppy Gao on the rotation, so we're getting an extra 86% or 82% attack and a high chance to crit. And then, yeah, we get 82% attack and defense because there's a Peppy Gao's ally. 82% attack and the crit chance because it's a Bulma. That's why his defense is slightly higher than it was last turn, despite the fact that we currently don't have any support, right? Because we haven't picked up the orbs with Bulma yet. So if we go ahead and do that, get her support active, and then we can see he'd be at 168, and then he's getting 150% on super. So that means he gets an extra sort of like 240. That puts him up to 400, plus the super attack effects. He might not get to attack this turn because the Gohan's potentially going to get killed here by the combo of UI Goku and Bulma, which is a shame because getting the unit super, of course, means we would get an infinite stack on the attack for Roshi, which would definitely be beneficial. But 10 million for UI Goku on the additional here. Guaranteed crits, of course, on the additional supers for this guy. So yeah, Bulma, is she going to kill? Hopefully not. I think we got enough orbs for her to get the guaranteed additional, though, didn't we? I should have just tried to grab only 5 if possible, so she just did the 1 super. If she doesn't crit, she might not kill him. Nice. That's what we like to see. Alright, so Roshi on this turn with the extra. Yeah, then he's up to 7.1. So that's a bit better. And of course, that's an infinite stack added on for his attack now as well. So all the future ones will be higher. And he did get the stun, which obviously not relevant here because we killed him, but not too bad. So yeah, we'll try and keep the Kid Goku here. I'm gonna... Do I want to... Yeah, let's throw out the heal here just so that we can make sure we stay in a good spot ready for the next turn. I don't want to have set all of that up and then we die before we get Roshi actually on the turn. So let's go ahead and do that. It should be a good turn for these guys. Version Z Goku, unfortunately, will have lost his damage reduction, and he's not in slot 1, so he doesn't have guard. So having the item active is definitely useful for him. He gets that little bit of extra damage reduction, of course, because we got the 7 orbs with Kid Goku, so everyone on the rotation has an extra 8% damage reduction. And then, yeah, we'll see how we go here. Because for the next turn, we won't have a Peppy Gao's ally on the rotation, but we'll have Kid Goku for the unit super. And then, of course, we'll have the support from Bulma from the previous rotation. So Hopefully Roshi should be looking relatively good. But yeah, again, like nothing super crazy about him. Like the animations are cool. He's definitely not a bad unit by any stretch, but with everything going on global at the moment, the fact that we most likely have a new banner coming out next week because, you know, the sales ended a week early on global compared to JP, so that this banner could come out, but then those sales still end next week on JP, which means something new is probably coming out on JP. And now that we're synced, obviously that means that it's coming out on global as well. So yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see what's coming up in the near future here. So let's do this. Grab the int orbs for the heal on Yamcha. Hopefully Yamcha can get the dodges here. I mean, I could use the other Princess Snake just to be on the safe side, I guess. Because the next turn is what we've been building up to see, right? So I don't want to take any risks that we get killed here. Yamcha not dodging a super would be death if we don't have the item active. It might even be death with the item active, I don't know. But in Yamcha, one of those interesting units that, like, he aged relatively well because at the end of the day, like, characters that... Yeah, see, 436. I was going to say, characters that are dodge or die can still kind of get away with being used as long as they are actually dodging, right? It's like the reason why Physical God Goku stayed relevant for so long, and of course has a little bit of a resurgence with the Physical Trio team because they provide a lot of extra raw defense to all of these units on their team. But here we go. So we got Krillin and Roshi together now. We can go ahead and we've got basically no health though. This is very... going to be very sketchy. We've got Turtle School, Infighter, Kamehameha, The Incredible Adventure, and Fierce Battle active. We're going to go ahead and use the active skill. So that gives us a 50% heal, as well as giving all allies ki and some support. So we'll go ahead and use this here. That's the Turtle School way. I mean, that's pretty cool. So we get the heal. Everybody gets the buff. We're going to get the unit super, so I think we should be good. Unfortunately, I can't really get any same type orbs, so it's not likely that we're going to be able to heal here at all. We can get the 7 orbs as well, that's really good. Alright, so let's see what we are looking at. I should have attacked Gohan with Roshi just because obviously when Goku dodges, it kind of like interrupts the super attack animation, which we don't really want, right? We want to see the unit super that we get with the Kid Goku on the rotation. Because this Krillin, because it's from the 23rd World Tournament, so he doesn't count as Krillin Youth. So he doesn't give the unit super attack to Roshi. 8.9 million, that's pretty good. And then, of course, we get the guaranteed additional, goes up to 9.8. So you can definitely build up to some decent numbers, right? Because if you do have him yourself and you're using his team build, you're likely going to be running like LR Bulma, and then I guess in an ideal world you pull the banner unit Bulma as well. So he always has the unit super, is always getting that extra attack buff. So he's going to be hitting relatively hard, always double supering, stacking the attack. Like, he definitely could be very good. It's just one of those units, like, he absolutely, like, to be clear, is not a skip because he's not good. It's just, he's not really anything super special, right? And his team, while fun, like I say, the most optimal build of his team, quote unquote, if you want to be doing like really difficult content, the most optimal build of his team is a team that you can just build with somebody else, right? Like if you're running a whole load of Gokus, you could just run a completely different leader and run essentially the same team. And then you don't have to worry about, oh, well, I have to put a Bulma on there, or I have to put like a Peppy Gal's unit on there or two just so that he gets these extra buffs. Because, like I said, as the perfect example, if you have Tech UI and AGL UI, you could run them as a rotation on this team. Roshi would be giving them support, or you could just run the Tech UI team, and then you have 2 of them, and you can run all the other crazy busted Reps of Universe 7 LRs instead of having to run like a Kid Goku for the unit super attack, right, and stuff like that. So he is one of those teams DB Saga really could do with more like top level buffs. It's a shame that like the Demon King Piccolo EZA is very much centered around extreme class enemies from this most recent World Tournament, because he could have been quite good on Roshi's team as well. But yeah, I mean, Roshi seems pretty good. He's just not anything super special. Pretty decent numbers though, because again, mentioned it multiple times, but like 55% level 1 links. So up to some pretty decent numbers, all things considered. I mean, if we're talking about, you know, thinking about a tier list or something like that, like he's better than the Scout of Vegeta, 100%, like the Fireworks Vegeta. This, I would say Roshi's definitely better. Namek Saga has obviously gotten some buffs with this celebration, and especially with the Easy A's that we got today. But Roshi's team, like I said, you can just run some really good Gokus and stuff on there, right? And LR Bulma can still be useful. The new banner unit Bulma, like, his team is probably better. I mean, I say his team because I guess one of the better builds for Vegeta's team is actually to not do a Namek Saga team and just run, like, the Brolys and stuff, right? So this guy, like, his best team is certainly going to be an interesting one. So we do this. I mean, I guess technically I could do this now as well, give everybody the extra buff. But we'll make this the last turn here and see what Roshi can do. He is actually attacking Gohan this time, so we'll get to see his animation properly. But we're going to get the massive buff from the active skill from Bulma. Because not only do we get the orbs, but obviously her active skill does give an extra buff to everyone as well. So go ahead and grab all of the STR orbs here. That gives us a nice full heal as well. And then we'll see what Roshi can do. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comment section. Shout out to the couple of people that set the Roshis at 55%, ready for me to be able to use for the video. Raudo, I think Drace was there. Anyone who had a Roshi set for me, much appreciated, because yeah, like I say, this is the first banner for quite some time that I haven't actually summoned on. I definitely want to make sure I am stocked up for heroes. So 11 million as the final attack stat here. Well, I say that, he's going to get a guaranteed additional as well. So 11 mil into a 12.4. I mean, 55% level 1 links, that's pretty good. So once you start getting some dupes in this guy, you've got his links leveled up. Like, if you actually have him, obviously the team can be built a little bit more around strengthening him, right? Because obviously I had to run a unit that would give him the leader skill and still let me run some of the other characters I wanted to bring on this team. So yeah, he could certainly be very good, but let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.